I been did it. Fucking these groupie ass hoes. I been did it. Doing song with these rappers. I been did it.
Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so let's talk about Drakeo The Ruler and Soulja Boy, man. Now, Drakeo The Ruler is an interesting subject in hip hop lately. Ever since his release from jail, it's been an ongoing story with this dude, man. There's been a lot of different stories that jumped out and people were talking about him. He's had an interview where he talked to Vlad. He's had an interview where he talked to No Jumper. And I've listened to all of them, man. And pretty much, dude has a very interesting story on first from his come up in the rap game, being an LA artist, taking a non-traditional route, and then his interactions with the public since joining social media and trying to get back out there and rapping and stuff. Dude has had some weird run-ins with his social media fan base, and he's actually, man, ticked off a couple of people because of his interviews. One of those people specifically being none other than Soulja Boy. Now, for those of you who don't know, man, Soulja Boy also used to call himself Big Draco. I think he still calls himself Big Draco. Now, Drakeo The Ruler, I think he took an issue to that. Now, before we get into all the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And, man, let's get it. Okay, so Drakeo The Ruler, man, just got freed this year, man. Like, it was only a couple of months ago. I want to say, like, back in November. So that's not even a couple of months ago. That's just a month ago. But either way, man, dude just got free, right? He had a very interesting case, man. Now, Drakeo The Ruler, he had it hard either way. Now, I can't say he had it hard because he's fairly successful, especially in the hip hop scene in Los Angeles. Like, dude is really taking over, like, as far as California. He's got like a big following that's underground / overground. Like, I would relate him to Kevin Gates. Like how Kevin Gates has this following that you cannot knock, you know, coming from Baton Rouge, and it just spreads around everywhere, but he still seems like he's almost underground. That's Drakeo The Ruler, except the LA version. Like, his ascension into becoming a rap star was based on a lot of stuff that isn't traditional when it comes to West Coast artists. Now, I'm going to keep it funky, man. And, man, I'm going to break down some things for you. And some of you might not have noticed. When it comes to West Coast hip hop, there's a hierarchy. You still have to be kind of invited in. That goes for Kendrick. That goes for The Game. That goes for everybody, man. Like, if somebody who isn't a bigger artist doesn't co-sign you into the game, you never make it. And you have to be, quote unquote, from the streets. Now, Drakeo The Ruler, man, he never had that kind of backing. Now, not officially. He never had any type of set or whatever you want to call it, man. I'm trying to tread lightly on that. But, you know, they've never actually went and put him to the forefront and said, hey, he's banging this or he's doing that. He kind of just came up like a rap artist would in any other state. Like, say if a rap artist came from a city like Atlanta or came from Georgia or whatever, their ascension into rap is an easier road because they don't have to claim anything or be affiliated or co-signed by anybody. They just work with everybody and it's all good. Or work by themselves and it's all good. Whatever works, works. Well, on the West Coast, man, it's not that type of thing. You know, if you notice, they still got this old guard who just, you know, gatekeepers pretty much, who let people into the rap game if they can. You know, you got to be co-signed by this rapper or that rapper. I'm not going to name anybody specifically, but if you really look at West Coast hip hop or most of the West Coast artists, you'll see exactly what it is, man. And I think, man, the West Coast is probably the only place still holding it like that. Like, you need to have a co-sign from this big artist. But Drakeo actually broke that mold, right? Now, he was breaking that mold at the same time he was catching a case, man. So he caught a case that sent him to jail for 3 years. And he was eventually acquitted for the murder charge. So he had a case involving a lot of things. There was like almost like a gang injunction. And it was basically saying that him and his rap group were a gang. And he was like, nah, man, I don't claim no gang. I ain't with that. And, man, it was an ongoing battle. And a lot of people have been fighting for him on his side in the media because his being in jail seemed like a weird situation, man. I mean, he was literally in jail for 3 years and ended up having to take a plea just to get out. And he was, basically acquitted of the murder or any wrongdoing. Now, it's kind of weird because, in the state of California, if you're in a gang or you're a known gang member, and he basically went on record saying he wasn't. He was always claiming that he was not a gang member. But they were saying the Stink team, his team, if you're a known gang member and Stink team is a team, is a gang, then, there's different injunctions that they can use against you. And he was caught in this weird loophole. It is an interesting story and a very interesting read. They even have a story about it on NPR and places like that. But dude came out and he started doing interviews. First, a video leaked of him talking to somebody on social media, and a lot of people have some speculations about that. I'm not going to delve into that, but he went on this media tour basically based off of that situation, of him getting released from jail, and then that video going viral. And then he talked to a couple of different news organizations. He talked to No Jumper, he talked to Vlad TV, and man, Vlad asked him specifically about, his stay in jail and how it was and how bad he was treated. And, he kept it G. I'm going to keep it funky. He kept it G. He was like, man, he got into some fights or whatnot. He went general population, I guess they call it or whatever. I'm not for sure on that stuff. I mean, I understand the concept, but I ain't never myself been locked up or anything like that. But he said they went general population or whatever. And he also mentioned Soulja Boy. He said he's seen Soulja Boy in the jail. And he was like, man, instead of going where everybody else goes, like in general population, Soulja Boy PC'd up. So he went into protective custody. Now, protective custody, for those of you who don't know, is somewhere you go where you fear, any type of, action from other prisoners in the jail. So anybody might have something malicious against you for any reason, various reasons, you go to protective custody. It's common for stars sometimes to go protective custody because they're an easy target for somebody to, try to fleece money out of them, make them pay rent and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? It's a weird system and a horrible system, especially if you're a star. Because if you're a hip hop artist and you don't go GP, where most of the gangsters go, or most of the street dudes go, I should say, then you're looked at a certain way. So when Drakeo went on an interview and said that, there was a lot of implications and street implications that were negative upon Soulja Boy. So Soulja Boy took to social media and he kind of went on a rant recently. Now, Soulja Boy has had some good news, man. There's been some good stuff that people have been saying about Soulja Boy lately as far as, him breaking down some barriers or whatnot. I did a whole story about his whole Instagram, how he gets paid on Instagram, which is pretty cool. But then, man, this story broke and a lot of people started talking about this and it started to overshadow the good things again. And we got Soulja Boy reverting back to the old Soulja Boy. So he went on social media and basically said a lot about Drake, a lot about everybody. I mean, he didn't even say Drakeo the Ruler's name specifically, that I say. But he did go on a rant where he was just talking wild and crazy and letting it be known that he was the first to do this and these other rappers need to catch up. Now, allegedly, he was aiming all that at Drakeo the Ruler. Now, Drakeo the Ruler has yet to respond to that, but it seems like he's just trying to get back into action as far as being a rap star and make sure that he can make this next run count just as big as his first run in the game. Now, what do you guys think, man? Do you think that Soulja Boy and Drakeo are in a real beef? Because, Drakeo has taken shots at Soulja Boy before with little snippets talking about, he's the real Draco, he's the real Drakeo or whatever, and there is no such thing as Big Draco, you know what I mean? But is Drakeo the Ruler, and Soulja Boy really in the beef, or is this just all surface level stuff that can be killed behind the scenes? Now with that, this been your boy Big Man. Please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.